Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Illusions of Itehari, continuing Tabari's route. Goddamn, I love this man. They're gonna hurt me, aren't they? It's the music right now. Also, I don't know. Anyway, still in chapter 6. We just started chapter 6. We're walking home after meeting that trash bag. God, I love Yuri so much. God, I love him. Such an asshole. I don't even know. Anyway, you can make it home on your own from here, right? I'll see you around, my lady. Tabari gave me a small smile before immediately turning on his heel and leaving. Don't leave me. I thought we had gotten pretty close, but this is why it's so painful. Because it's not like he's like, fuck the rules, I'm going to take what I want. He's not that guy. He's like, I can't have you because of the rules. So dramatic. I feel like now the distance between us has grown just as much. I knew the reason for that all too well. Our circumstances since birth restricted us into stations where we weren't even allowed to be mere friends. My legs felt a little heavier than usual as I trudged home. They're just, okay, are we just like, are you, like, Yuki's route, kind of had a happy-ish ending. The best you can expect for the fact that you're not supposed to be able to marry him and then it being like, well, maybe that's why this is recommended second. Again, I have felt most of the time that like this one would have been better served as first. You know what I mean? But not if we're not are you gonna give us some fucking like Virtue endings where everything's gonna be miserable? Cause like Aoyuki's wasn't perfect, but it was like a 90 out of 100 in the pretty fucking good scale. You know what I mean? Like where okay, yeah, perfect ending would have been we're allowed to marry Aoyuki. We don't have to keep our relationship secret, but hey, if I got to keep my relationship secret until we turn this shit around, sure, that's just setting up good storytelling for the fan disc or whatever, right? But like this just feels so melancholic right now. And maybe it's cuz it's chapter 6 and it's like you're making me sad and I want to cry a little. I don't trust you right now, game. I'm having trust issues with the game right now and I don't like it. Don't do this to me. But maybe it's just because I want to hold Tobari and pet him and tell him everything's going to be okay and he just seems so sad. So it's like, oh, it's making me sad for him. And because of him, I don't know. Oh, we could have absolutely played that in the last, whatever. Later that night, Suzune was discharged from the clinic and moved into my house. Lady Spacey, thank you. I'm truly grateful. It's only natural to help out when someone's in trouble. You're a dear friend and you've helped me out a bunch, so now it's my turn to help you. Suzune brought a sleeve to her eyes as she teared up. You were the one who found me, right? Tabari told me. If it weren't for you, I probably wouldn't even be alive right now. As she spoke, the look in her eyes turned dark. Like, we want to be like, well, Tabari's actually the one that saved you and, like, pulled you out of the fire. But at the same time, like he said, I wouldn't have even known she was in that alley if I hadn't seen you running that way. He wouldn't have thought to go there. So, yeah, no. He might have dragged her out, but I was like the Labrador who was like, over here. I guess I was the border collie. I was Lassie. Hey, Timmy's in a well right here. That day, the fire spread so suddenly, and I heard everyone screaming from all directions. I was all out of sorts, and before I knew it, I was in my usual hiding spot. I was such an idiot. It's not as if going there would help. Don't be so hard on yourself. Kind of understand how you felt. I mean, to be fair, going to your usual hiding spot's probably not the best idea. Getting the fuck out of the entertainment district would have been the best idea. So, I mean, but then we wouldn't have run in to find you, and Tabari wouldn't have come, and we wouldn't have had the save you moment. So, I guess. My lady. Her expression softened a bit. She must have felt relieved to hear my comment. Do you happen to know how Shioji's doing? He better be doing well and not backhanded, underhanded, dirty shit on the side, is all I'm saying. Don't you hurt Suzuna, you son of a bitch. He He seems busy. I last saw him the day after the fire. He didn't seem injured at all, which is sus as fuck. But I mean, Tabari's not really injured either, so fair enough, I guess. Is he? Thank goodness. I hope he isn't pushing himself too hard. I understood her softly spoken sentiment all too well. After the tragic events of that night, doesn't Shioji have a kid too? Didn't he mention that? The fuck is his kid? How come it was just made mentioned in passing and never? Okay, is your kid in the abyss? Possibly. I mean, we all came from there, so it's possible. Because otherwise, it's like if your child is in the entertainment district, right? Why would you burn down the entertainment district and risk killing your child? So, like, yeah, you know? I mean, that just seems kind of weird. So that's another point on why Shioji doesn't. But at the same time, it's like he makes more sense than Yori going down there and doing. But I still can't figure out his motivations for this. You know what I mean? Like at least Ugetsu. Well, then again, when did we catch Ugetsu and get all of his motivations to come out? I don't remember what chapter it was where it was like, okay, because at first, but I mean, like he was just a random character that it was like, why would you do these things? And we don't know because we don't know you. We know Shioji, so it doesn't make sense, I guess. But I guess that's what makes him a brilliant possible suspect because you trust him and you're like, he wouldn't do that. And then he does that and you're like, why? You know? And we don't know the why, so it doesn't make sense. Yuri makes absolute fucking sense because he's a trash bag. And part of me wants him to just be the villain in every fucking route just because. but it doesn't make sense that anyone would help him. You know what I mean? In the abyss. You know? I mean, because he's never. I mean, it makes. I don't know. I don't know. But again, having a random character, some other random faceless character, really makes even the least amount of sense. So I'm very confused. And I don't think it's Suzune doing shit. She wouldn't do that to her brother. You know what I mean? And Tabari sure as fuck wouldn't do that. It still doesn't make sense that Shioji would do it, but he's not a main character, so he's a main side character? I say that, and yet Yuri was really kind of very much involved in Ugetsu setting people on fire. He didn't do it, but he was like, maybe you should, like, light people on fire or some shit. I don't know. Like, he was the mastermind behind the plan, so fair enough. Anyway, after the tragic events of that night, you think of that person even more than usual. I'd just seen him earlier today, yet I was already wondering how he was doing. Because I, too, had someone like that. Aw. A week passed since the great entertainment district fire. I was summoned to attend a special assembly at the Ryue. I mean, to be fair about making fun of it being called the Great Entertainment District Fire, if they called it something else, we'd be like, why the fuck would you just not call it what it is? The Great Fire of the Entertainment, you know what I mean? It's just, they've decided to call it this as if it's some, like, magically creative name and not just exactly what it was, you know? Like, it's how they presented it. All of the noble family heads were in attendance. Those of the 7 houses were seated in the front row. One of the central seats was Prime Minister Sakaki's, and behind him sat the symbol of Itehari, the great taiju. It was customary for the Prime Minister or the Kinji to speak on his behalf, so despite being in his presence in the past, I had never actually heard his voice before. Interesting. See, and that's interesting, though. Because I want to back that up for a second. I mean, we have, because we played Aoyuki's Realm. But we've seen the great taiju here, but we've never heard him. Right? Because that would also, I mean, again, they know he's like the Pope, where like one Pope dies and there's another guy. They know, the other taiju disappeared, so now we got this guy. They know that the Great Taiju is a different man in a mask, but he wears the veil and all of that to hide who he is because he's literally just a man. I guess it's more like he's the man in the Mickey Mouse costume. All hail the mouse. You know, it's a different person in there, but it's still just, but it's Mickey Mouse. Yay. You know, you can be a little delulu because you can't see the person inside the costume. So hearing someone's voice, hey, here's one guy, and then the next day it's like this guy, you know what I mean? Like, that would kind of ruin the illusion. So they don't let him speak. He'll tell his Kinji whatever, and they speak for him, okay? But how does that make fucking sense? I mean, okay, in general, it makes sense. Okay, it keeps the illusion. But for the game logic, how does that make sense when we went to the Lantern Festival and on the 7th day of the Lantern Festival, he gives a speech and we were there and they didn't say, oh, one of his Kinji came up to give a speech. They acted like it was him giving the speech in Aoyuki's route when then everybody started bursting into flames. He was the one giving the speech. They didn't have this in there like, oh, like one of the Kinji came forward to give a speech because no one's ever heard him speak. But she just now points out, oh, I've never heard his voice. But you would hear his voice every motherfucking year at the Lantern Festival, so that's bullshit. So you know what I mean? Did they just forget that? Did they just, or because, do you have different people writing each route? Because I know they do that sometimes in games. Where you didn't share data and go, here's the basic information, because I feel like that's important information. And you can't sit there and say, I've never heard the Great Taiju's voice when it's like, bullshit, you hear it every motherfucking year. He may not be getting out there speaking once a month, but he speaks once a year. You fucking heard his voice. Or again, they just figure if you did this route first, you'd know that. And then when you're in Aoyuki's route and he's going to speak, you'd be like, well, I guess it's not. But it didn't even say like Kinji up. There was the Great Taiju. It was him speaking. So that doesn't make any sense either. If you're going to build a world, make it make sense. Like, why the fuck is 1 hour here 2 fucking hours? That might come up later and it might be pertinent. We don't know. It might just be fucking pointless world building. But this is like you've made sure to mention that you've never heard his voice, but we heard him speaking. And again, not after we met him and saw what he looks like without the veil and everything on. But he was speaking at the Lantern Festival. He gives a speech every year at the Lantern Festival. You've mentioned that multiple times in this game. So how are you rectify with the fact that she's never heard his voice? That doesn't make sense. It's making no motherfucking sense. I feel like that's not the only thing right now. It's the only thing that's coming to mind, but I feel like there has been something else in the game where like, this isn't making sense. You told me A, but now you're doing B. Where does it make sense? You know what I mean? And I don't feel like, I know that there's going to be certain things that's like, this doesn't make sense. And then later we'll be like, oh, when you get to the truth route, oh, that's why it doesn't make sense. Okay, got it. Right? But this feels like you just completely forgot your own world building. Like the time thing. Why do we need to keep mentioning that 1 hour is really, 1 bell hour is actually 2 hours? Again, maybe it's pertinent, maybe not. Maybe they were just like fun world building. All the grass is blue here. Is there a reason for that? Nope, just cause. Okay. Sure. But that's something that could make sense later. But this is something that I just feel like you forgot to share amongst the class when you were writing the routes. And that annoys me a little. I don't know. It just bothers me because keep your shit in order. We've gathered here today on October 28th of the 320. I'm sorry. 323rd? No, that's why I couldn't read 323rd, because it's true. That's in 332nd? 323rd? 323rd. Because that's an ND, not an R. It's not how you spell third. Okay, well, all right. That's listen. That's been sitting up there for a while since I've been ranting about Taiju not talking. And Tim and Ronald, you know, honestly, I feel like I don't think in this game it's been bad, but in the other game we're playing in tandem with this, the route we're in, they have been doing a bad job forgetting words. They went from doing so fucking amazing to like, oh my God, how many times are you going to forget a word? And now we're here. So it's like, my tolerance is really low for their shenanigans right now, okay? Like, Jesus Christ, guys. That's not how you whatever. Anyway, we've gathered here today on October 28th of the 323rd. Now, okay, again, that could just be how Itehari does things because it's already weird here. Year of the Koreki era? Okay. To discuss the Great Entertainment District fire of the 29th and 30th Divisions. Yada yada, lots of bullshit. Okay. As well as share with you the results of the investigation and the measures taken in regards to several fires that occurred in the Castle District. Ah! I didn't know my peacock was here. I love him. I cannot get his voice right for this game. I really can't. We've confirmed that both the Great Fire and the Castle District fires were caused by a particular device. Based on these findings, the Korozuru have determined that these incidents were intentional acts of crime and have begun a search for the arcanist involved. The assembly began with Lord Karatachi's reports. I want to turn the voice on just for him. Just for him. He only shows up once in a while and would just be like, read along for the 2 lines, guys. Well, there were a few complaints claiming that the Ryue and the Korozuru took too long to act. They were either rebuked by Lord Sakaki or laughed off by Lord Karatachi. Yeah. Which allowed the assembly to proceed without straying from the topic at hand. They're like, you took too long! And Karatachi's over there. Whatever. Whatever, bitches, fight me. I'm Spacey, head of the Eastern Fifth. I believe the Ryue and the noble families should take the helm in the efforts to rebuild the entertainment district. Our lifestyles are supported by the citizens in times of peace, making it our duty to act in times of need. She ain't wrong. But why should we exert such effort when they will reap all the benefits? She turns her head slowly, looks at him. I've seen you in the brothels, sir, so I'm pretty sure you're reaping some benefits. Silence! If there's something you wish to share, please let us know through a show of hands. Sakaki's gonna whip out his ruler and slap people and be like, you will raise your hand in my motherfucking class. The only person who responded to Lord Sakaki's request was someone else who hadn't spoken yet. Chairman, I'd like to request permission to speak. I don't know who it is. Granted. Oh! We are so blessed right now. I'm sorry, I didn't know who it was. They just had question marks, and I was like, it's going to be a surprise. I was like, is it going to be Lady Owie or something? And we're going to be like, girl, how dare you betray us by not supporting what we're saying? But no, it's this beautiful bastard. Oh, my God. Please tell me in the fan disc we get to date him. I was going to say ride him, but, whatever. Same difference. But, like, for the love of God, we need that. I don't care. I don't care if this game is, like, mid. When we get to the end, like, there's some things that don't make motherfucking sense, okay? Like, I don't even care. The men are so fabulously gorgeous in this game, I would play the second one and be like, I don't care if the first game wasn't great. I don't care if we get to the end and go, overall, meh. Because the hotness of the characters is like a 12 out of 10, okay? So the game could be like a 4 out of 10. The hotness of the characters, I'm simple. I'll be like, it's good enough for me. Plus, I get to listen to Jun Fukuyama speak. I mean, obviously not, but, like, if I go back and replay the game, like, theoretically, I do. And I will always own this game, because I have the physical copy. So, I just put it in, and I could just listen to this man speak till I die. So, good enough for me. Again, I'm simple. You know that. A Kurozuru soldier sitting in one of the foremost seats spoke up. He spoke in a dignified voice that matched the clear, earnest look in his eyes. God, I do not understand why we don't get to marry you. Oh, God. Oh, I mean, part of me is glad that Yori is such a fucking trash bag because it makes for a fun time, but, like, and again, it's different. We usually, like, have the trash bag who's trying to ruin every route, and you're like, God, you're the worst! And we don't get to usually date the trash bag. But like, but now we see how painful it is when we get to date the trash bag and don't get to date the beautiful, soft marshmallow brother. Oh, and we have a glossary term, but anyway. I'm Suwabuki, Heritor of the Western Second. I'm here on behalf of our family head today. The heir of a family who will succeed the role as its head, usually the eldest child, although there are rare exceptions. If you were younger than Yuri, the rare exception would be Yuri is a trash bag, but the family head of the Western Second had been bedridden due to illness for a very long time. This was one of the many assemblies the Heritor attended in his father's place. I had heard much praise for him, with many claiming that he was a very accomplished man and hot as fuck. If we do nothing about the people whose homes were destroyed, this can potentially lead to an increase in criminal activity. I mean, okay. All right. All right. I don't feel like Suwabuki is the person to be like, I don't know, homeless people cause crimes. I don't really think that that's how his brain works. That he's going to be like, poor people are going to start like causing crime because of this. But I feel like he's smart enough to go, rich people are cunts. So if I say, hey, if we don't like do something and help these people, like more crime, and then they're going to be like, God, no, because that's worse for them thinking of someone breaking in their house and stealing a sandwich than people being homeless, living on the streets, dying in poverty, in gutters, and starving to death and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because the crime is not they're gonna, oh, the poor people on the streets are gonna fight each other. It's they're going to hurt me. Oh no. Yeah. So you ain't worried about the people starving and suffering. You're worried about somebody like breaking your fucking window and inconveniencing you. So I feel like that's where Suwabuki's coming from. He's like, crime might increase. Yeah, that's how you get rich people to do something instead of just being cunt holes. Okay, yeah, cool, got it. Can we eat the rich yet? Seriously. With nothing to lose, we can't be too sure they won't resort to extremes. We need to address this before it becomes an issue. Therefore, the serf quarter of the Western Second will temporarily take in those who have nowhere else to go. Lord Suwabuki, come to think of it, it seems the people are growing increasingly anxious, right? They're saying this might be a prelude to an even bigger disaster, or that the Lord Taiju's power is waning and kicking up a big fuss. General Karatachi. Oh, well, I'm being serious here, you know. Your appearance and tone indicate otherwise. His appearance! He always looks like this. Oh, anyway, I just meant to say that I'm on board with the head of the entertainment, the Eastern Fifth's idea. The noble stirred at the general's statement until... Who's saying very well? An unfamiliar voice echoed through the assembly hall. And it's going to be like, we're hearing Taiju speak for the first time. But it's like, again, we hear him every year, so that's whatever. I hear the Great Fire has caused significant damage. I don't remember the voice we gave him, but it's only natural that we should provide aid to the people of Itehari. The assembly hall grew deathly silent from the shocking development. But just now was the Great Taiju, right? He sounds a lot younger than I thought he'd be. With that, in a completely unexpected turn of events, a statement made directly by the Great Taiju himself brought the deliberations to an end. The details regarding the reconstruction of the entertainment district would be discussed by the Ryue on behalf of the Great Taiju. While the supervision of the entertainment district residents was fully entrusted to the authority of the Western Second, I feel really bad for poor Suwabuki because you're going to have to deal with Yori messing shit up. When the assembly was adjourned, I quickly wove through the crowd and tracked down a certain someone. Lord Suwabuki! Oh, marry me, goddammit! I mean, thank you very much. Especially for going as far as to take in the survivors of the fire. It's nothing worthy of thanks. I proposed the idea because I fully agreed with you. That's all. Seeing me still out of breath from excitement, Lord Suabuki gave me a small smile. How the fuck we don't fall in love with this man and we're just like, yeah, he's hot and gorgeous and super nice and actually perfect in every way. Okay, bye. I mean, don't get me wrong. I totally get being torn between perfect noble husband right here and banging my butler. That's hard. And perfect noble husband here and Tabari is really fucking hot too. Hard choice. But like, how the fuck we end up with Yori is just beyond me. His well-defined features made him look intimidating when he wasn't speaking, so seeing his expression soften startled me a bit. See, she's smitten with him too. It's all, Jesus. The duties expected of us are different from those of the common folk. However, the act of helping one another is what keeps Itehari afloat. If only one side were to reap the benefits, it may inevitably lead to collapse. He's so perfect! That's why we can't date him. We can't have perfect. We gotta have turmoil, apparently. You know? Because every other person that we're romancing is below our station, in a way, except for Yuri, and he's just a dumpster fire. So, Suabuki being perfectly fine to marry and being just the most precious, perfect being ever is like, well, that would just, I don't like what this game is setting me up for. You're setting me up for disappointment and pain, aren't you? I don't know if I like that. I did not come in here thinking we were going to get, like, bittersweet. I thought there was going to be a lot of bullshit. Like, this world is bullshit, because it is, but we were still going to have happy endings? Are you setting me up? Did you bamboozle me, you bastard? I don't know if I like this. No. The men are hot, though, so 12 out of 10 for that still. It was as if you put the thoughts I've had for a long time now into words today. Oh, no, that was him saying that to us. Sorry. Because I was like, where's my... What button is it? No. Is it this one? I don't know which one it is in this game. Nope, don't do auto. It's not this. Which one is it that... Oh, here it is. This one, for some reason, the buttons... all the other buttons are the same except for getting to the log. And I think it's also weird in our other game. And I can never remember which fucking one is which and where the buttons... I don't know. I need it to be the little left Joy-Con, but I haven't changed it, and I should. I did change, I think it was this one with some of the other buttons, because I was like, nah, I can't do this. Like, my brain doesn't work when you reverse the buttons from what I'm used to, but I didn't change this one, and I should have. It was as if you put the thoughts I've had for a long time now into words today. There you go. That's better. Lady Spacey? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just surprised. I've come to realize that there aren't many people who think the way I do. Also, I've met your brother, and he's kind of a cunt. Well, I've always admired your ideologies and conduct. Huh? Again, why are we not dating you if you would... Like, what? Why? Game. I'd never personally interacted with Lord Suabuki before, but it seemed that he knew of me somewhat. Farewell for now. Yes, goodbye. He smiled at my response, gave me a polite bow, and left toward the exit. It's unfortunate, though, because the sweet, nice ones is never what you want. You want the trash bags. But in this case, I want the sweet, wonderful man. While also being able to bang his trash bag brother. Is it weird? Why can't I just have both? Lady Spacey. Hearing a certain voice replacing the silence Lord Suabuki left made me instinctively straighten my posture. That was unexpected. I did not expect you to make a formal appeal to provide aid to the entertainment district. I heard that you've been visiting the area as of late. Could that be why? He did know after all. I feel like this man knows a lot more shit than we give him credit for. I mean, I think, okay, like, I don't know the vibe we get from him. Like, are you a little bit of a douche just because all nobles are kind of douches in this? Sort of, maybe. But I don't think it's like, ugh, poor people suck. It's more like, I have to do a certain job, so sometimes I gotta make tough decisions and whatever. Like, you know what I mean? And Yeah, unfortunately, he's probably stuck with, especially in situations like this, where it's like if all the nobles are like, nah, fuck that. Fuck the poor people. We don't give a shit. Just punt him off the side. And he's like, okay, I guess we gotta punt him off the side. He's probably having to make decisions he doesn't like for the rich cunts that live here. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's one of them or if he's just making the tough decisions because of them or anything. I don't think he's like, I'm also not like, he's just the nicest, softest thing. I think we're kind of middle ground. Like, I don't think I dislike him though. You know what I mean? Like, he seems like he could be a little harsh sometimes, but I feel like that's because he kind of has to be. You know what I mean? Like, like sometimes your boss has just got to be like, you're kind of sucking right now, you know? You know what I mean? Like, he's going to give us all tough love and he's got to be stern and serious, but he seems genuinely like not a bad character. For now. For now. We don't know what's going to happen. Like, Karnatachi actually is a fun character. Is he shady? Kinda. A little bit. But I mean, like, is that just because of the way he acts, or is it because when have they ever given Jun Fukuyama a character to fucking voice act who isn't a little shady? Even if it's like you're shade, oh, because you were helping and doing good things on the inside, but you know what I mean. They always make that man hide something. So, and Karatachi just being as flamboyantly peacock as he is makes me a little sus. Like, he's not as bad as Yuri, but he's not as wholesome as Suibuki. You know, he might be in the gray area where you're like, does he do some sus shit? Probably. Are we ever going to catch him at it? Who knows? Do I still love him anyway? Of course. You know? Again, I don't think anyone's as big of a dumpster fire as fucking Yuri, so. It was one mystery solved. I proceeded to give him an honest response to his question. Like, what we've seen of him in this route. Like, I feel like in Aoyuki's route, we didn't see too much of him, and it was like, he's turning a little scary. You know what I mean? Like, but this one, we've seen a little bit softerness from him, and it's like, oh, he's actually kind of nice. Again, it doesn't mean he's not going to backstab us or anything. We don't know, but like, generally, I think he's an okay character. Like, he's an okay guy. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I don't hate him. You know, we're not like, oh, this bitch. You're like, thanks, Dad. You know, he's your stern father. I didn't present the idea because of any favoritism based on the ties I've made there. Actually, I was thinking that the system of the entertainment district itself may need to be reevaluated. There were people who had no choice but to live there. However, I made my proposal thinking that they needed to get back on their feet as soon as possible before we could even consider reformation on a greater scale. My apologies for misunderstanding. I did not mean to imply that you were frequenting the district for your own pleasure. Look at his little, like, oh dear, no, not me face. It could have simply been my imagination, but Lord Sakaki seemed to be in a better mood than usual. I was surprised by what happened today, because of my own misconceptions. Misconceptions? Again, I still want Tobari to be your kid. I want you to have, like, a bastard child. Like, it would be so funny. I was biased by the assumption that you were not interested in political affairs. But seeing you and Lord Suibuki today made me realize the next generation of family heads sincerely has the interests of Itehari in mind. It was very reassuring to witness. See, and you're like, you're not all that bad, because you're like, good, people actually care about this place instead of just their own selves. Like, okay, see? Aww. You're too kind. There's still so much for me to learn, so I hope I can continue to rely on your guidance and support. My chest warmed with his praise. See, like, it's shit like that, and you're like, if you backstab me later, I'm gonna be bamboozled, because, like, you kind of feel like a softie under there. There are people out there who acknowledge my efforts. Knowing this made me extremely happy and grateful. I must say, I'm quite disappointed in the Lady of the Eastern Fifth. The entertainment district profits too much to need our help. A woman participating in political matters is intolerable to begin with. Yeah, that sounds about right. All things considered, this must mean that the rumors of her frequenting the entertainment district are true. Someone in the group of snickering nobles noticed me and called out, "Oh, if it isn't the lady of the Eastern Fifth! Has the matter of your betrothal been settled?" I swear to God, can she just... Girl, I'm gonna need you to start stabbing people. It is not. This isn't exactly the time for it. Well, I presume you're spoiled for choice, as there must be countless men in the entertainment district. That can't be, considering most of them died recently. You're right. I'm sure your late parents must be worried sick. It would be a bad idea for me to argue with anyone who considered me a laughingstock. If I did, I'd risk ruining my reputation even further. And this is what's fucked up. I'm going to ruin my reputation if I tell them to get fucked. But I'd tell them to get fucked. Fuck my reputation. But since they brought my parents into it, I couldn't just stand by without saying anything. I haven't done anything to dishonor my parents or the name of the Eastern Fifth. Unlike you sniveling cocksuckers. Shouldn't say that, but I wish you did. I have my pride as a noble and have been conducting myself in a manner befitting my title. They recoiled a bit after I spoke up for myself, which they probably weren't expecting. Yeah, 'cause, they don't think women should be in the building, so definitely don't think women should be talking back to men. This is where you stab them. The group quickly scurried off, mumbling and complaining under their breaths as they did. Unperturbed, I decided to make my way home before spotting an unexpected visitor. Tobari, what are you doing here? Do you have business at the Ryue? I have to make a formal report on the Great Fire. How about you, milady? We had a special assembly today. Tabari's face twitched slightly at my response. It's been decided that the Ryue will assist in the efforts to rebuild the entertainment district. The details are still up in the air, but at the very least, the survivors will be... Say, milady... Tabari looked frighteningly serious as he spoke. Did you initiate that proposal? Huh? How do you... Oh, did you see what happened just now? He didn't respond, but his silence was more than enough to confirm that he did. Oh, sorry you had to see something so embarrassing. Embarrassing for them. And I'm sorry for letting them speak of the entertainment district that way. No, what I wanted to say is... Don't worry about it, really. Tabari seemed anxious, so I said, I love you. I won't trouble you. Oh. I feel like I don't mind. Like, I don't mind. They can say what they want. Fuck them. You know what I mean? Because I feel like he's, like, worrying about us and our status and everything. And the I won't trouble you sounds more like, we're like, I won't trouble you anymore. This is a little dramatic and, like, we're pushing him away. Yeah, I don't mind. Okay. I really don't mind stuff like that. I didn't think it sounded particularly forced, but there was no change in Tabari's expression. Do you get that a lot? No, if anything, they're usually trying to curry favor with me. What I did today must have appeared really impertinent to them. Like, how dare this cheeky brat suggest such a thing? It wasn't brat, though, it was bitch. Because they were like, how dare this woman, this bitch, come in here. I'm sorry, have you met Yori? He's this bitch, not me. But I was prepared for a reaction like this based on what I've learned. You're right. Tabari gave a listless sigh, but there was something so alluring in the way he did it that caught me off guard. I like how she's like, he just sighed and I fawned. Yeah. What is it? I was sure of my assumptions before, so being confronted with the truth that I didn't actually know anything makes me feel like crap. You've had your own struggles within the workings of the nobility up till now. I just couldn't see it. Oh, look at his sad face! Sweetie, don't be sad! Oh no, you have so much to be sad over. Don't be sad for me. I could say the same for you. There's a lot I still don't know. Not to mention that I'm very fortunate. It must be especially tough for you. Whatever the circumstances of your birth are, hardships tend to feel the same for everyone. His face contorted a bit as he spoke his next words bitterly. I guess I realized there's a lot I didn't know about you. even though I was aware there's a rift between us so deep it'd be impossible to fill. He spoke in such a self-deprecating manner, making me struggle to search for the words to respond. Say, you're all done making your report, right? Can we walk together? Actually, do you still have something to do? I can wait. I mean, if we made a point to part ways now, it might actually confirm other people's suspicions. I peered into his face as I waited for his answer, at which point he let out a resigned sigh. That's so funny. If we part ways now, people will be suspicious. Wouldn't they be more suspicious if you stayed and walked together? You know what I mean? I don't know. We left the Ryuhei together, and after walking a bit, after weighing everything in my mind, I steeled my resolve to ask my next question. Will you marry me? Do you have some time, Tabari? I'm thinking of stopping by somewhere. It'll just be for a moment, I promise. I spoke quickly in the hopes that he wouldn't be able to refuse, but he simply nodded, looking more relaxed than he was earlier. Where are we going? Yay, thanks! It'll be a secret until we get there. Follow me! You get excited by every little thing. He gave a wry smile as if exasperated by my antics, but I was hoping that spending some time with me would be a nice change of pace for him, and quickly guided him through the streets. Are we going to the lookout? Yeah. We're here! It's my favorite spot. I've been avoiding coming here on my own lately, so it's my first time back in a while. It was the hour of the rooster, and then there's this. There's like these fucking... refers to the hours from around 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Because remember, each hour is 2. Again, that might be pertinent later, where it's like, well, because Itehari's up in the sky, every hour is really 2 hours in real time because the sun doesn't have as far to traverse from east to west up in here. You know what I mean? I don't know science enough to know that, like, higher elevations, quicker time. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta bake things differently in ovens depending on elevations, and that seems weird. And you're like, wait, what? So if you're really high on a mountain, your oven could cook things differently than meat? Like, what? That seems weird, right? Because, like, you know? You know? But, like, so, like, maybe being up in Itehari, the sun acts differently, so every hour for us is really 2 hours because, again, we don't get as much sunshine. But then you'd think it would be... instead of 1 hour equaling 2, a half hour would equal... You know, you think it'd be shorter time because we'd have less sunshine. So instead of being like, we get 6 hours of daytime... You know what I mean? You think it'd be the reverse, but... I'm not smart enough for this right now. I have had coffee, and probably too much at the moment, but I'm still tired, so whatever. The evening sun cast an orange light over Itehari and the sky above us. Wow, it's a pretty nice place. The sunset looks great from here. I can't take him seriously when he looks like he's pouting with his arms crossed. Wow, it's really nice up here. Like, that's what it looks like the way he's saying it, but you know he's not, but it's so funny. I haven't even told Aoyuki of this place. You're the only one I've shared this with. Huh? You two have known each other for a long time, haven't you? Yep, we've been together for as long as I can remember. Not only does he look after me, but he also helps with my official duties and bakes sweet treats. Isn't it pretty rare to be that close to a common attendant? You should see the other shit we do when the sun goes down. And when I'm going to bed, Aoyuki comes with me. I'm sure it is, but that's just the way it's been for a long time, so it's a given for me. There's also kind of, in a way, what's, if you think about it, the way she's been with Aoyuki, how close she's been to him and trusting him and everything, that she doesn't also see the strict, harsh division between nobility and commoners like other nobility does. Because Aoyuki was basically always there for her. Like, yes, she was raised by an uncle type of a thing, but Aoyuki's the one that's been helping her manage stuff. So she's closer to a commoner in a way than she has ever been to a noble family teaching you. Because, like, if you grew up with your noble parents, they'd be like, oh, no, 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 we don't speak to God. Oh, no, 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 we don't. Maybe our parents weren't dicks. But, you know, her situation, her parents dying, and yes, her uncle kind of took her in and helped her and whatever, but Aoyuki was always there. He was the person that saved her. There was a trust bond there. She's always been closer to him than anybody else. So that is also what shaped her personality to be like, I will talk to anybody, and I don't understand why we have this harsh divide line between nobility and common people because we're all just motherfucking people. You know what I mean? Whereas some nobility is like, yeah, oh no, like Yuri. You know what I mean? And that's why she's friends with Suyakusa and like talks to Tobari and is like, whatever, people get the fuck over it. I can talk to whoever I want. Why can't I be friends with him? And like why it bothers her so much because again, she grew up in a totally different situation and her personality is it's not just, oh look, she's just a wonderful person. It's like she might have still been a good person and whatever if she grew up with a normal family of nobility. Because again, we don't know what her parents were like. They might have been like, oh no, we have to treat common people with respect and everything like that. And it's not to say that every noble person goes through their serf quarter and treats their serfs like crap. But it also sounds like, I'm pretty sure she said, not everybody walks through their serf quarter like she does and talks to the people. So she's got way more of a hands-on approach than most nobles do. So, you know, it's not just you don't fit in with the society. It's kind of nurture and nature. Like, naturally, would she be a little bit kinder than most people? Yes. But she was also nurtured that way, if you think about it, again, because of being closest to Aoyuki and not really having that strict line and just being like, yeah, guidelines, whatever. They were just blurry. She's like erasing that line in the sand and being like, why? Aoyuki's the best. Why can't I talk to other common people? You know? So it was kind of interesting that they went that way. Because you know what I mean? It makes more sense than just, oh, she's always been raised in a noble house, but she's just not like other girls. It's like, she's not like other girls because she was raised weird. You know what I mean? She's in a different situation than most noble people, so of course she's going to act differently. You know? It's a little twofold, but it makes sense. I see. He nodded slightly, deep in thought. I've always liked looking at the sunset, ever since I was a child. I love seeing the sun turning into a more gentle color, and how it slowly sinks beyond Itehari. I enjoyed how it made me feel more connected to the world outside. This was something I could never reveal to anyone else. But I had a feeling Tobari would understand the underlying meaning of my statement. The colors of the sunset and sunrise are different. And the entertainment district's active at night, right? So I've been awake at night. I've been awake until night turns into day, and I've seen the white glow of morning pretty often. But this might be my first time watching the sunset from such a quiet place. I see. If you like it here, I'd be happy to bring you back again. He could also come on his own. Tabari gave me a small smile. I know the intent was like, we could come here together. He looked toward the horizon beyond the town, as if he were recalling a fond memory. When I was a kid, I once snuck out and went all the way to the edge of town. Oh? And did you see the surface? It was a beautiful starry night. But by the time I arrived, the sun was starting to rise. I remember it clear as day. I can still recall the yellowish green of the earth and the deep blue sea. So if you're at the very edge of Itehari, you can see the ground. So we're not that high up. You know what I mean? I wonder how actually high this tower is. I mean, it can't be like super high. I mean, that would be dangerous. The wind would blow and you just topple over. You know what I mean? You gotta have supports and stuff, so. His eyes were aglow with a deep longing. I mean, you gotta think, like, possibly, like, maybe, like, I mean, they obviously don't have planes in this world. But, like, would you be at, like, plane height? Would you be lower than that? Because, like, he can see the grass, but it's not like, oh, I see the people down there. You know what I mean? And, like, you couldn't be, like, skyscraper high. I mean, I guess you could be. You could be, like, super tall skyscraper high. Because they probably don't have skyscrapers aside from Itehari being, like, a skyscraper. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Depending on where you are, like, and how high you are in a skyscraper, you can see people. And they're like, oh, look, I can see people moving around. I'm assuming they're so high up, he's like, I can see the, like, the grass and the ocean. And he's not like, oh, look at that person down there. You know what I mean? You'd be so high up that you can't. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. His eyes were aglow with a deep longing. His profile as he gazed into the distance was so breathtaking and... Can we see it? Can you give us a CG? It's been too long. I understand now. I wanted to keep that radiance all to myself. The feelings I had for him were a little similar to my own longing for the surface, while also being different entirely. A longing that had to be avoided at all costs here in Itehari. An emotion that I should never put into words. A sentiment that I should never have held on to begin with. Say, Tabari, I decided to kiss him. Tell him how I feel. Tell him how I feel. Tell him how you feel. I love how she is like, this sentiment that I should never have, that I shouldn't hold on to, that it can't exist. Hey, Tabari, I'm in love with you. Like, you know what I mean? I know, I threw my mouse. I'm very sorry, buddy. I'm very sorry. I was patting you and I was reaching over to my thingamajig. Ooh, save file 3. Save file 3. Hold on. Okay, hold on. We'll get you potty break while I try to save, okay? Come on. All right, hold on. Don't poop on me, please. Don't poop on me, please. Ah, my thing is all staticky. Okay, oops. Oh. Sorry. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in my cord. I'm trying to get the bird a break and save the things and like... Wait. I can't read what number that is. Too far away. Good boy, thank you. Okay, this is where we save. Okay. Back. It better be tell him how I feel, because I would assume the ... would lead to a bad ending. Although, what if tell him how I feel is the bad ending? Oh, dear God. That would be horrible. No, it's tell him how I feel. Okay. I couldn't imagine. I was just... Tamari, you want to go to the outside world, don't you? Makes me really happy to hear it. I'm so glad there's someone else in the world who shares the same feelings I do. Yeah, same goes for me. Hold on, my pillow just fell. I have a pillow on the back of my chair. It smacked me in the head. I don't like that. As Tabari smiled softly, I continued. You work really hard at your job as head of the entertainment district. I really like earnest and hardworking people like you. At the end of the day, you're really kind and you enjoy whatever food we eat when we have a tasty meal together. And you're pretty dashing. Not just in the way you dress, but also your mannerisms, too. Milady... I met his gaze as he gave me a puzzled look. I put my hand on my chest and took a deep breath. Are we going to kiss now? Because I swear to God. I really admire you as a person, Tabari. Not only that... Hold on. You can't... He probably knew what I was going to say and was trying to stop me before I could finish. But I kept going before he could do so. I'm really sorry. I told myself I wouldn't do anything at first, but it's gotten to the point that I can't keep quiet about it anymore. So please, let me at least share this with you. Look, you look so sad. My chest hurts whenever I think of you, but I can't stop thinking about you. My thoughts are filled with the idea of being with you forever. Of course, I didn't mean that as in following after him wherever he went. I knew that such a luxury would never be possible. I enjoy our talks just as much as you do. I was also glad to spend the night of the Lantern Festival with you. It already felt like ages ago. His smile was dazzling as he continued. This may come as a shock to you, but it was a really special moment for me. More than you might think. I don't remember ever really enjoying the Lantern Festival like that since I was a kid. He looked especially earnest and vulnerable as he spoke. You told me you wanted to get to know me, so I got carried away and talked your ear off. Before I slept, I recalled everything from that day, and I could barely stand it. I was worried I ended up boring you. Me too. You know, my lady, we both just got caught up in the festival spirit. That's all, right? I was really hoping this was the moment we kiss. While still kind, the words he spoke left no room for argument. He's doing it for our benefit, because you know he's like, yeah, no, I feel the same way. But it was just that moment, right? Because we can't do this. Let's not break our hearts. It's like he's not trying to push us away like, I'm not into you, girl. Get the hint. He's like, I am absolutely into you, and I would kiss you right now, but we can't be together, so there's really no point in hurting us. We'll rip each other's hearts. Let's not do that. I think you're a fine woman and a great catch. But if you think you've fallen for me, then you're sorely mistaken. No, I know I have. I'm not. I really... Is mistaken too harsh? Then let's call it an illusion. This is the illusion of Itehari. Stop. It's the illusion of this game that I can have a happy ending with this man. Stop ripping my heart out. I hate you right now. In reality, a noble woman like you would never get involved with a guy from the entertainment district. Yeah, well... We saw me bang Aoyuki, so it's fine. He discovered a new world. It was new and interesting, and you were charmed. But don't get the wrong idea about being head over heels. He admonished me in an uncharacteristically kind tone, but with his usual blunt choice of words. Can you just fucking kiss this man and show him how you really feel? You know it yourself, don't you? That you weren't the type to play with fire. True. You know, I want to be like, poor choice of words, but also like, because like, our house burned down and you're not used to playing with, you know, what the fuck? But also, brilliant choice of words, because it's like, I see what you did there, actually. And valid, sir. Touche. Tabari gave me a sly smile before turning his back on me without even giving me a chance to speak. I almost couldn't breathe. A short moment felt like it had been stretched for an eternity. I really thought we were going to have a beautiful kiss. Tabari! I couldn't let him leave like this. As he was about to walk away, I reached out to him and... CG! 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 Stop it! No! Look at his sad face! No, why would you do that? Why would you give us the CG where he looks so sad? I can't do this. I'm gonna cry. Look at his sad little face. We're having a moment, and it's like, it's such a sad, bittersweet moment where he's like pushing her away, and then it's like, look at his face. Oh, stop it. Oh, it hurts so much. Oh, I don't know, guys. Oh, dear God. It's not an illusion. I think the illusion of Itehari is that we're, like, is happy endings. I'm not feeling good about this right now. It's just so, I mean, we're only in chapter 6, but it's like, oh, the angst right now. It's kind of good. You better pay off in the end. Don't make it worse. I don't trust you right now, game. I held him from behind to stop him from moving any further. He seemed startled as I wrapped my arms around him. Look at the pain in his eyes. It's so good and beautiful and sad. I really, truly love you, Tabari. Spacey. Oh. And he puts his hand on her. Stop it. Oh, God, I'm gonna die. His hand brushed mine. That alone was enough to make my heart stop. I know mine did too. I can't read right now. Oh, sad face. I don't need you to accept my feelings. If you hate me, you can just say so, but don't deny me my feelings. From his stories and expressions to his adoration of the outside world, I loved every part of him. Look at his massive fucking beautiful hands on top of our delicate princess ones. I love being with you, and even now my heart's racing so fast it feels like it'll burst. Kids who are in love with the idea of love all say the same thing. They think their feelings are special. He generally admonished me as if actually seeing me as a child. I feel like he's saying these things to hurt me so that I'll be like, fine, screw you, and like, whatever. Because look at his sad face. This hurts him so much to push her away. Because he knows it's not right and it can never be, so it's just easier to not let yourself fall in love. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Obviously, like, we're in love with him and she's admitting her feelings, but if she held them in, it's kind of easier to bury them and be like, nope, it wasn't real, because you didn't say it out loud and confront it. You know what I mean? And, like, if Tobari admits right now like, that he feels the same way, then it's real and then we love each other and we're in love, but we can't be. And it'll hurt so much more when we have to kind of let each other go, as opposed to if I don't tell her I love her, I'll hurt her and I'll push her away, but she'll get over it. And it won't be this, we're just pining for each other when we can't have each other. She'll let go because it's one sided. You know what I mean? It's easier to let go of what you think is one sided love. When you're like, God, I love this person and I love with you, and it hurts for a while and then you move on. But if you're both in love with each other and just pining from a distance, between a glass wall, like it's harder to get over, you know? You're like, look at him though. Oh, oh, oh. I bet you can't even imagine coming to your senses and having those feelings disappear, right? I can't either. Feelings fade with time, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. He rejected me in the kindest way he could before gently leaving my embrace. Don't leave me. He took one step forward, turned back to face me again, and began to speak with a soft smile forming across his lips. You're entirely different from any other noble I've known, and you care about the entertainment district. I'm also grateful to you for saving my sister, but don't bother doing any of that stuff anymore. My eyes welled up with tears, but I held them back as I returned his gaze. Good for you, because I don't know if I could. Saw that CG and it almost broke me. For both Tobari and me, it would be best for us to forget these feelings ever existed, but of course I'd help people in need. I didn't want my voice to shake as I spoke, so I put on a bold front. Regardless of how I feel about you, my desire to do something for the entertainment district won't change. Which is why, even if you don't want me to, I'll still get involved. And that's not up for negotiation. He looked at me for a few moments before giving me a resigned sigh. Thanks. The pain in my chest remained, but I ignored it as I smiled and nodded. Oh! Oh, what a horrible way to end this part! Oh, God, that CG! Stop it! Oh! Oh, it was so beautiful, but the sad look in his eyes. They did it really well. I gotta give him credit. Like, Jesus Christ. His CGs are fucking gorgeous. I feel like all the CGs in this game have been gorgeous so far, but like, Tilbari's CGs are like fucking killer. But also, like, that sad look in his eyes is just, oh God, it wrenches my heart out. I think I don't know how to breathe anymore. I don't like it. It hurts. We're only in chapter 6, although we've made a save. We might be getting, I don't know. We might have a bit of time, and I don't know if there's any more choices in chapter 6. We've only made 3. You know what I mean? But, like, oh God. Ew. I mean, I think there's usually like 3 like there's 6 dot whatever. I'm not sure how many are there. Usually like maybe 12 segments. I don't know. Anyway, I was trying to see if I could figure it out, but when I go save, maybe I don't know. But we're at least in the middle of chapter 6. But like in chapter 8, we got some heartbreak and angst before we get our. You better give me a happy ending. I don't know if I trust this game the way they're setting up the angst right now with Tobari and everything. Cause like, but I mean, I guess it was the same with Aoyuki. I don't know. This game is giving me trust issues all of a sudden, and I don't feel good about it. But is this get like? I knew going into like Verche and everything that it was gonna be like dark and depressing. Is this one supposed to be dark and depressing? Did I not get the memo on that? I don't. By the time you guys see this and go, oh God, we'll probably have already finished Tabari's route and I'll already know what this game is setting me up for. Maybe that's why it was better to do Aoyuki's, where we kind of get a happy ending if they're going to rip my heart out the rest of the time. I don't think that's fair. Don't bamboozle me. You know? Like, I mean, having to abandon my friends and run away to the outside world is kind of like bittersweet, but still be happy. So I'm okay with that. That could work. But is that where we're going? Because I'm okay with that. That's got to be an ending in here somewhere if Tobari and I are talking about it. Got to be. Um. Anyway, I will see you guys next time, remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.